Okay, so seller concessions, also called seller credit. Let me explain what this actually is, because it's one of the most powerful negotiating tools you have as a buyer, and most buyers don't even know to ask about it. Okay, so here's the deal. A seller concession is when the seller agrees to give you money at closing to help cover your closing costs. It's not cash in your pocket, it's not a discount on the house. It's the seller saying, okay, I'll help you pay for some of your fees that come with buying this house. And it could be a game changer, especially if it's your first home that you're buying, or if you're stretching your budget to get into the home that you want. Now, here in Northeast Ohio, many times closing costs are around 2 to 4% of the purchase price. So if you're looking to buy a $200,000 house, then you're looking to spend about $4,000 to $8,000 in closing costs. That's title insurance, appraisal, lender fees, all that stuff. And if you don't have a lot of cash saved up, that can be a huge burden. That's where seller concessions come in. Here's how it works. So let's say you're buying that $200,000 house and your closing costs are going to be $6,000. You can ask the seller to give you a credit towards those costs. Maybe you ask for $3,000, or maybe you ask for the full $6,000. It depends on the market and how motivated the seller is. But if they agree, that money gets credited to you at closing, and it reduces the amount of cash you have to bring to the closing table. So instead of bringing $6,000, you only have to bring the $3,000. The seller covers the rest. Now, there are limits of how much you can ask for. If you're getting a conventional loan, you can ask for up to 3% of the purchase price in seller concessions. FHA loans allow up to 6%. VA loans allow up to 4%. So it does depend on your loan type. But there are caps, so you can't just expect to get 10% and the lender be cool with that. Here's the thing though, the seller doesn't just hand you that money out of the kindness of their heart. You're usually gonna pay for it in the purchase price. So let's say the house is listed at $200,000 and you wanna ask for $6,000 in seller concessions. You might offer $206,000 as a purchase price with $6,000 back in seller concessions. The seller nets the same amount and you get help with your closing costs. Everybody wins. And honestly, a lot of times this is how deals get done, because buyers need the cash flow relief at closing. Now, sellers do not have to agree to this. If it's a hot market and they have multiple offers, they may say, no, we're not doing seller concessions. But if the market is slower, or the house has been sitting, or if there are inspection issues that come up, this is a great way to negotiate. Instead of asking the seller to fix a bunch of stuff, you can say, hey, just give me a credit and I'll take care of it myself. It gives you more control. One more thing. Some sellers look at seller concessions as a weakness or desperation. Not true. It's a smart financial move. You're keeping more cash in your pocket at closing, which means you have more cash flow for moving costs, repairs, and whatever you might need to move. And the seller still gets their price. It's strategy, not desperation. So if you're buying a house and you need help with closing costs, ask the seller for seller concessions. Your agent should be bringing this up to you as an option. And if the seller says no, okay, fine. But you should always ask, because the worst they can say is no. And the best case scenario is you save thousands of dollars at closing. That's a win. So if you're a seller, let me ask you this. Would you rather give seller concessions or lower the price? Which one feels better to you? Follow us for more from Your Family in Real Estate. Love ya. Bye.